Good day, everyone. Welcome to the third module about plumbing devices. So, in this module, you'll be introduced to the plumbing fixtures, accessories, appliances, and plumbing appurtenances. What are plumbing fixtures? Plumbing fixtures are receptacles to a plumbing system, which water or waste may be collected or retained for ultimate discharge into the plumbing system. So, basically, these are your water closets, your lavatories, showers, bathtubs. These are devices that can be found in our bathrooms and for our daily use. For our comfort and hygiene. So there are a multitude of plumbing fixtures, but we'll only be discussing the common plumbing fixtures that we get to see in the buildings that we commonly go to, like our houses, schools, malls. So for this module, we'll be talking about 10 common plumbing fixtures, namely the water closet, lavatory, kitchen sink, urinal, and shower. Now let's start with this first five. So a water closet or your toilet bowl is a fixture used to receive human excrement and discharge it through a pipe, using water as the conveying medium. So when we say human excrement class, these are our urine and our feces, our solid waste. Then second is lavatory. So lavatories are fixtures designed for the washing of the hands, and our face. This is also known as wash basin. Now the kitchen sink, a similar function for as to a lavatory, but these are designed primarily used for food preparation and dishwashing. Then the fourth one is a urinal. So this is a sanitary fixture equipped with, a water supply and drain for flushing away urine. So these are primarily used for men. And then, of course, we have the fifth one, the shower. So it is a compartment or an open space within the bathroom in which the person bathes under an overhead spray of water. Now let's go to the remaining common plumbing fixtures, so namely bathtubs, hose bib, bidets, floor drains, and drinking fountains. Now let's start first with the bathtub. So by definition, a bathtub is a tub for bathing, usually a fixed plumbing installation designed for one person. And then we have a hose bib. So this is a faucet or spigot designed to accept a garden hose for gardening or pressure washing. So the difference between a hose bib and our normal faucets is that hose bib has a thread. Let me just highlight this one. So at this point, from where the water comes out, there's a thread there for us to attach a garden hose. So the hose bibs are usually found at the exteriors of the house or the buildings. Then we have bidets. Later on, we'll be discussing more on the types of each plumbing fixtures. But by definition, bidet is a bowl or receptacle designed to be sat on the purpose of washing one's genitalia and buttocks. So the function of a bidet is, when you after you're using the water closet, you transfer to the bidet, for again washing one's genitalia and buttocks. Anyways, I will be discussing the types of bidets. So we'll get to that in a moment. And then we have floor drains. It's a plumbing fixture that is installed in the floor of a structure mainly designed to remove any standing water near it. So usually showers has floor drains, and maybe you notice in your TNBs or your toilet and baths or bathrooms that there's an extra floor drain, right beside the water closet. That's to anticipate yung mga overflow, so at least it's not that messy to clean up. Then you'll just go directly to the floor drain near it. But floor drains are actually also used in, like balconies, roof decks, again for drainage of standing water or puddles of water. Then we have drinking fountains. So these are plumbing fixtures designed to provide drinking water. So commonly found in large buildings where there's a high volume of people, like schools, airports, public buildings. Now let's move on to the types of water closet. So there are four categories on the types of water closet. So as to design, as to make, as to mechanism, and as to installation. So when we say as to design class, it's what standards did the manufacturer follow or implement. And when we say as to make, it's how the water closet physically looks. No? And then as to mechanism refers to how a water closet flushes wastewater or our human excrement. And then as to insulation, no, it refers to how it is attached or installed on the floor or on the walls. So let's first talk about the types of water closet as to design. So there are four types. Now there's wash down, reverse trap, siphon jet, and siphon vortex. So as you can see from the images here, you can see the flow of water from the flush tank. Okay, and the direction where the direction of the drainage. So let's first talk about wash down. So the wash down water closets, so these are the least expensive but also the noisiest. No? So only a small amount of standing water is present in the water closet when it's not being used. No? So this may be susceptible to fouling and staining, or shall we say more no susceptible other than the next three. So there is also one of the oldest of the four types of water closet, now where you can easily tell if it's a washdown if the drainage of the wastewater goes towards the front, no, instead of going towards the back, as we've seen here as a the other three types of water closet. Then of course we have the reverse trap, no, so the reverse trap water closet has the trapway, located at the rear of the water closet, thereby eliminating the bulge at the front. So this is the reverse now of wash down. So if the wash down, the drainage wastewater goes towards the front, the reverse trap goes towards at the back. So therefore, eliminating this bulge right here. And this is also more desirable than your wash down water closet. Next is we have siphon jet. So the jet is submerged, thereby creating a quiet flush. So there's a large amount of standing water to prevent fouling. Remember the principles that I talked about in Module 1, that every fixture must have a trap. No, so we briefly talk about like our lavatories has a P trap or sometimes a bottle trap. But for water closets class, the trap is built within the water closet itself. So this is called integral traps. No, so the standing water here that I've been talking about is the one that forms a water seal in the water closet, so that sewer gases, from the septic tank or from the pipes will not go back into the space inside. So that's why siphon jet is has less chance of fouling because it has a large amount of standing water or a water seal. So this is mechanically efficient but expensive. The next is we have a siphon vortex. So this water closet is the most efficient but also the most expensive. So the way it's flushed is that it's developed its flushing action by water entering through the rim, as you can see here, in a diagonal fashion. So which creates a swirling action, or a vortex in the center once it flushes. So this is also the most quiet and most sanitary among the four. But then again, it's also the most expensive. Okay, so now let's talk about the types of water closet as to make, or how it physically looks. So we have one piece, close coupled, pail flush, and squat bowl. So one of your water closets at home is either of these four. So the one piece water closet, now, as the name suggests, it's one piece. So this is a water closet fixture manufactured with a bowl and flush tank molded into a single unit. So if I've not previously stated, the bowl is usually, the water closet is usually composed of two parts, the bowl itself and then the flush tank. So when we say one piece glass, the flush tank and the bowl is molded into one, so it's appearing more of a single unit instead of two separate units. And then of course, close couple. So this is where the flush tank is separate, but it's just attached to the toilet bowl. And then we have the pail flush, this one. So this is a water closet comprising only of a bowl without a flush tank. So this is the way we flush this type of water closet is done by means of dumping large amounts of water onto the bowl. And then of course we have the last one. We have the squat bowl, so commonly known as the Eastern type because this is common in Asia. Since and then this is also called squat bowl because, again, as the name suggests, the user assumes a squatting position. Now let's go to the types of water closet as to flushing mechanism. So there are two examples of this. So we have the flush tank and we have a water closet that uses a flush valve. So a flush tank holds around 5 to 6 gallons of water for flushing the water closet. So we press a lever or a button, and then the flush tank is activated, and then it will release the 5 to 6 gallons of water so that it can flush our waste. So these flush tanks are the flush tank types of water closet is common in private buildings like residences where there's a low turnover. So when I say turnover class, that's the amount of um, I mean the frequency, or how many people are going to use in a fixture, or they're going to use something. So in residences, the turnover is quite low because there's only like maybe 5 to 6 people, living in a single residence, and the flush tank has time to refill before another user will use the water closet. So in the other one, the flash valve. So flash valves are also known as flushometer. So this is a valve designed to supply a fixed quantity of water through direct water pressure. So meaning the water is stored in the pipes themselves. No, so this is in contrast to the flush tank where the water is stored where in a flush tank. No, in the flush valve type, the water is stored on the pipes itself. No, so normally the water supply pipes for these flush valve types of water closet are bigger, so that they can store more water. So this is common in public buildings where, again, there's a high turnover in toilet usage. So sometimes people will line up just to use the water closet. So if you're going to use a flush tank water closets in public buildings, it might not be that it's not recommended. Is what I'm trying to say, because again, it takes time for the water to refill. So what if um, another user comes in immediately after the previous one, so they would have to wait uh, to for this water to fill up in the flush tank for them to be able to use the water closet. Whereas this one, the flush valve, since the water is stored directly on the pipes, the refilling of water is almost automatic. Okay, so now let's talk about the types of water closet as to installation. So I guess this is pretty straightforward. So we have floor mounted. So of course the water closet rests on the floor, and we have wall hung. So though you can actually see it, there's a support metal bracket hidden behind the wall. So that's how they stay in place. Wall hung is typically wanted by clients who in some sort of and for a lack of better terms, siguro, some sort of neat freak. So they sometimes when good when you're using floor mounted, grime, the dirt can actually form, on the edge on where the water closet and the floor meet. So that's very common. Also, then you have to scrub it out just to, make it look clean. But of course, in the wall hang, since there's no meeting point between the floor and the edge, so this is very easy to clean. You just wipe under it, so less maintenance. So that's why some clients would prefer wall hung water closet. Now let's go to the types of urinals. So the types of urinal slots are usually just based on how they are installed. So we have four types. We have the wall hung, the pedestal, stall urinal, and the trough urinal. So in the wall hung urinal, so obviously that's attached to the wall, and the pedestal, rests on the floor, and then the stall urinal, so actually the whole stall is already the urinal. So you can see from this picture right here, this is one stall, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. So they actually occupy uh, like the whole three walls here and then on the floor. Then of course, and then we have the fourth one, which is the trough urinal. So this is common in Europe, especially in Eastern Europe, where there's just a stainless steel trapezoidal trough made, and then you just pee into it. So of course, this can be uncomfortable for others to use because there's no division. You just men would just pee side by side each other sometimes touching shoulders. So luckily, this is not that common or prevalent in the Philippines. Now let's go to the types of lavatories. So again, the types of lavatories are usually just based on how they are installed and sometimes on how on I mean the aesthetics of it. No, but basically they all function the same. Again, wall hang that's attached to the wall. So these are good if you want to use the space underneath the lavatory. And then of course we have the pedestal, where the pedestal rests on the floor. So of course you can't use the space underneath it because again it's blocked by the stand or the pedestal. And then we have under counter. So from the word itself, you have a counter usually that's made from granite, marble. And they just cut a hole on that counter and then attach the lavatory from beneath. And so there, so if you see it from at an elevation point, it's flat. No, and then this looks cleaner when it comes to aesthetics because again the under counter is somewhat hidden underneath. And then vessel or over counter, this is the opposite of under counter. So the lavatory itself rests directly on the counter surface. Again, this is for aesthetic purposes. Then we have again the trough. So the counter, the whole counter itself, that's the whole lavatory. So as you can see from the picture here, the surface is just inclined to allow for drainage. And this is I don't actually me personally I don't actually recommend this draft lavatory because you can see all the water that is draining, so I've stayed at this one hostel when I was traveling, and then they had this draft urinal. So when I was brushing my teeth, and then I could see all the spit, all the water from the previous ones who brushed their teeth. It's kind of icky. It's kind of disgusting. So I don't really recommend this type of lavatory. Then we have types of bathtubs. Usually, this is based on again the installation and aesthetics. So we have freestanding and built-in. So freestanding bathtubs are obviously these are used, in spacious bathrooms, and they're usually placed at the center, to spice up the atmosphere, create some drama in the bathroom. Sometimes the person can, circle around the bathtub before going in, with with candles lit, and with again to create drama. So some clients will request freestanding bathtubs, and then of course we have the more common one. We have the built-in. So again, bathtubs. These are bathtubs that are installed into a corner, usually with walls on three sides. This is the most common one. Okay, now let's go to the types of bidets. So there are three types. There is a standalone, this one. So this is a whole separate fixture. We have seat bidets. So these are built um, at the side and at the rear of the water closet, and then we have handheld. So again, standalone bidets. So these bidets are separate fixtures now, which usually sit right next to the toilet. So sometimes, however, you'll find them across the bathroom or uh, far away from the toilet. And so either way, you will need to use the toilet, then stand up and move over to the bidet. So that is the original model, the bidet that originated in 18th century Europe. And then of course we have the seat bidets. So this is more common in Japan. So many bathrooms in Asia, many bathrooms in Asia and America don't have that space, to accommodate a separate fixture next to the toilet, as the original bidet. So that's why these came about, these seat bidets. Then this way you don't need to get up and transfer to the bidet. No, you don't need to get up just to clean yourself. And of course, is the more common one in the Philippines. This is a handheld or a spray bidet. So it is a bidet, that is installed externally. So they usually are hang on the wall, and must be manually moved to the desired position to use. So I guess I don't have to explain how to use that. Okay, now let's move on to the plumbing accessories now. So the second categories of plumbing devices. So these are optional add-ons which actually do not receive or discharge water but enhances the convenience when one uses the plumbing system. So what are these plumbing accessories? So typically these are your soap holders, your toilet paper holders, grab bars, for persons with disability and elderly people. We also have toilet seats. No, yeah, some toilet seats are even covered with fur and foam for added comfort. But personally, I find that unsanitary because, at least in the Philippines, the toilet will always get wet. So I don't know how sanitary can that be if you're using a toilet seat with fur and foam as the cover. Then of course mirrors. Typically, plumbing accessories are anything else that is installed in a bathroom or in a plumbing space, but it doesn't directly interact with the plumbing system. Okay, so now let's move on to the plumbing appliances. So plumbing appliances, so these are plumbing devices that performs a special function and is typically controlled and or energized by motors or electricity. So what are good examples, man, of plumbing appliances? So you have your dishwashers, washing machines, and your water heaters. So dishwashers are not that common in the Philippines since most of us, hand wash our dishes in the kitchen sink. No, but for other countries like the West, they use this device. So they put their dirty dishes inside it, then a strong stream of water from all directions will wash out the food bits and eventually clean, the plates, the glasses, the spoons. And then we have washing machines. I guess I don't have to explain what a washing machine is. And then, of course, we have water heaters. Now, so we'll be discussing water heaters more in a separate module. Okay, then the last category for plumbing devices are the plumbing appurtenances. So these are plumbing devices that are manufactured or prefabricated prefabricated that is adjunct to the basic piping system but demands no additional water supply and does not add to waste discharge. So what are examples of this? So we have water meters, PRV, pressure reducing valves. We have water pumps and water tanks. So for PRVs, so these are used when water pressure in the piping system is so strong that it can potentially damage the pipes. So sometimes the water pressure can get that high, to the point they can cause uh, pipe bursting. So they function by reducing the water pressure to acceptable levels. So next we have a water pump. So this is the opposite of the PRV. So when a building or a house has a very low water pressure, so pumps are installed within the water supply system, to boost the water pressure to acceptable levels so that of course it will be comfortable to use the plumbing fixtures. And then of course we have water tanks for the storage of our water supply. Then I forgot to mention that water meters. So water meters, these are typically located, outside, uh, just beyond the property or the house or the buildings. And so they measure the flow of water, so that the water concessionaires like your MCWD or your Maynilad or other private water concessionaires out there can bill you of your water usage.